We all have different definitions of it. The one thing they all agree on is it will culminate in a cataclysmic event. And once that event takes place, the world will never be the same again. Be it through nukes, aliens, the walking dead, disease, voodoo, warring deities, returned elder gods, solar flares, man-made climate change, or meteors crashing to the earth. Will humanity survive or be destroyed? Choices will be life and death. Knowing all of this, still nothing can prepare you for the Apocalypse Monthly. The time has finally come. Night of the Apocalypse Monthly, number 3. Now with a co-host who has the highest kill-death ratio in the entire universe on My Little Pony Deathmatch, Benjamin.
True, that's true. I do. That's a real game that we all play.
We're addicted. What can I say? There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like pulling out the entrails of a little pony to make you really feel like a man. So yeah, Apocalypse Monthly is back. It's a little different now because I got Benjamin on it.
Yeah. And I'm good at surviving, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, I hope we all can survive the coming apocalypse. What we're going to be talking about this fine evening is we're going to be talking about Night of the Living Dead, because we're finally starting the run through all the Romero of the Dead movies. Ben is going to get to try his hand at surviving the apocalypse as a lowly retail worker that has been thrown into the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
And we will also be suggesting some capitalist propaganda in buying the apocalypse.
Ooh.
But before that, Benjamin, before all of that happy, fun, good times, we gotta go and check out some questions at Letters from the Bulletin Board.
Ooh, let's check it out.
All right, Benjamin. So we got 2 questions concerning our episode from Real Life Friends. And then we also have some ripping off of my brother and me, and I went to Yahoo Answers to find some zombie questions for us to answer.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah, that'll be fun.
So, let's get into... We've got Matt Stark commented on my post on the MeWe's, and he said, do you think that Night of the Living Dead defined the zombie genre, and how much influence does this movie have on your view of the genre?
Well, I mean, I would say yeah, right? Because it's like the first zombie movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the first virus
or zombie movie as we know it.
Yeah, it's the first virus-based zombie movie. So there was White Zombie before this, but it was a voodoo zombie.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say I know voodoo zombies had been a thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's more like the Haitian zombie, not the Night of the Living Dead zombie. Of the dead, as it became known. So, yes, 100% definitely defined the genre. Some of the rules got bent, some of the rules got broken, but obviously everyone is building on the rules and the lore created at this time.
Yeah.
I 100% think that the genre is defined by this movie, and if not this movie, the predecessors of this movie.
Oh yeah, and I would even make the argument if we never had this movie, zombies as we know them today might not even be the way that they are. They might be something completely different.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it it's definitely not something that would exist in the way it does
Hmm.
um, without
Without this
Romero's
particular film.
influence.
Yeah.
68. Huh, that's crazy. Did they really come out the same year? Or no, 64.
What's that?
So this is what I was about to say that's kind of interesting. So,
Hmm.
Night of the Living Dead came out in 1968. The
Yeah.
Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price came out in 1964. So
Oh
I
wow.
wanted to make sure I knew which one came first, kind of. So
Yeah, sure.
we wouldn't have zombies if Night of the Living Dead had never happened. We would probably have vampire zombies.
Oh,
Because
maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if you have seen The Last Man on Earth, the one with Vincent Price, but they behave almost identically to the
Oh,
zombies in
really?
Night of the Living Dead. I'm not
Oh.
trying to like throw Romero under the bus or anything, saying
No, of
he was
course. Yeah, yeah.
copying, but there was a lot of similarities. But then, of course, the similarities completely end at points in the movie, and I don't want to
Right.
spoil it if you haven't seen it. But there's a scene in the movie where Vincent Price is crying because everyone he loves is dead, and the vampire zombies are just like pounding boards against his doors and windows
Oh,
because they
uh
want to
huh.
kill him,
Right, right.
because he's been killing all the vampires. So
You know, you know what though? They never once actually said the word zombie in Night of the Living Dead.
nope, zombie.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't even think Romero wanted them to be called zombies at first.
Oh,
You know,
really? Well,
but stuff happens.
he didn't get his wish.
Yeah, stuff happens. Um,
Hmm.
and then yeah, as far as my view of the genre, it's heavily weighted in the Romero zombie. And I don't know if that's so much that I was taught to respect it, or if it's so much as I was just drawn to it. I can't say which way it happened for sure, you know,
Hmm. Hmm.
because it's one of those things where I became into zombies, and then I was told that the ultimate zombies are Romero, and then I found it to be true, and I don't know if it was because the seed was
Yeah.
planted or if it was because it was true to me.
Real quick too, I just looked it up because I was curious. Apparently, the word zombie is exclusively used by Romero in his script for his sequel, Dawn of the Dead, and that seems to be like the first
Ah,
like appearance
he
of the word
he
zombie.
probably had to. So, one of the things he ran into, of course, was there was legal troubles with Night of the Living Dead because it didn't get
Hmm.
copyrighted correctly, and
Hmm.
he didn't own the rights to it, which is why
Right.
Of the Living Dead went away and it became Of the Dead, so
Hmm.
he could copyright it.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, well, it's not funny. It's really sad because
Well,
he lost a
I
lot of
guess
money.
yeah. I guess not funny in like the humorous
Yeah.
sense. I guess yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, though, like part of the reason, and so part of the, so that here's the real funny part, though. If he had
Hmm.
retained the rights, I don't think it would become the phenomenon it was.
Oh, maybe
Because
not. Yeah.
part of the reason it became such a phenomenon is everyone was able to rip it off. Everyone was able to show it wherever they wanted for free, just to make straight money. So it got shown everywhere because they're like, "Oh, it's a horror movie we can show and not have to pay anyone to show it."
Oh
And
yeah,
so,
that's true.
I don't know if that legal error hadn't happened, if we would even have zombies as they are today.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Because it became a capitalist, you know, capitalist dreamland. Like nobody had to pay any rights, and they got to make money off of it. So like
Mm-hmm, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not then. It's funny how stuff like
Yeah,
ties together and influences other things, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Definitely, definitely. Romero was upset about it, but
Yeah.
like I said, who knows if the phenomenon would have happened and he would have gotten to make the 6 other movies without that one being uh, public domain basically immediately.
Right.
And Liz Jones, my wife,
hmm
she asked which Romero film is my favorite. Is your favorite? Is our favorite?
Oh man. Ooh, that's a tough
It's
question.
easy for me. Yeah,
Is it? What's
Dawn of the
yours
Dead,
then?
man.
Oh, that is your favorite?
100% Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. That one is really good. You know, yeah, I'd probably have to go with Dawn of the Dead too.
Yeah,
That movie is just, it's so iconic and it's so good.
yeah, and it's just uh, I don't want to be like an asshole or anything, but
Yeah.
uh, the it gets they start to get weird in the later movies.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
like the zombies start getting smart and stuff like that, which it's an interesting path to follow because that literally makes them even more terrifying. Um,
Right.
but it's also like something. It's one of the few things that most almost I would say 90% to 95% of stuff that has adopted the zombie genre has avoided was the intelligence factor.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Marvel Zombies did it. Um, I don't know who else did it that they made the zombies intelligent. I guess there's that Romeo and Juliet zombie movie. What was it called? Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they did it. They had intelligent zombies in that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Dawn of the Dead, 100%. It's so good. I still haven't finished the book, so I need to finish that. Maybe the book will become my favorite of the Dead.
Oh, maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm a slow reading asshole. And apparently, eventually, there's supposed to be a Road of the Dead. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was co-written with Romero and this the guy who's going to direct it. I don't remember what his name is. So it's
Uh-huh.
been in the works for a long time apparently. And when
Oh,
it's
interesting.
co-written, I don't know if they were like, oh, here's a script he half wrote. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like humanously like the book was, or if they actually wrote it together. I'm not sure.
Oh, right, right,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Benjamin, I think we've got
Yes,
time
sir.
for one or two of these zombie questions from Yahoo Answers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. I okay. Let's do three because one of these is going to be super fast and easy. As
Okay.
someone working in the healthcare system and finishing your respiratory therapy degree, so I
Uh-huh.
assume you've had to learn a little bit about COVID-19, being that you're dealing with lungs.
Yeah.
Um, here's Anonymous's question that was asked 1 month ago.
Okay.
How do we know that COVID-19 isn't a zombie apocalypse waiting to happen? Possibly a delayed zombie effect or side effect from the vaccine. Um,
That's a great question. I love that already. Um, well, my answer to that would be that, like, I feels like with the zombie movies, it always seems to affect like the brain, right? Like, and like COVID-19 just really doesn't seem to target the brain. It'll target um like your lungs, and I think they've seen some stuff where it might be affecting like your heart and stuff too. but there doesn't seem to be anything indicating that it's affecting the brain. So I feel like we're probably safe on that front.
What about the vaccine, Ben?
Well, the vaccine deals with mRNA, so I don't really know about if that's going to really affect too much brain activity either. I mean, I guess it's good. The vaccine's still early, so but I doubt it'll be anything like that.
No.
I think our brains are gonna be okay.
Vaccines are safe, and
Yeah.
the mRNA vaccine. I've listened to some virologists talking about it, and yeah, it literally breaks down before it could even be absorbed into your DNA itself. It's just
Yeah.
something that like floats into your um, blood supply, and it's like, hey, look at me, I'm a virus, and the blood supply is like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, actually, it's more like, hey, look at me, I'm an immunobody or
Mm-hmm.
something. I don't. It trains your blood on how to make the stuff that makes you immune to the virus. So,
Yeah.
um, and then it dissolves. So, don't worry, no zombie apocalypse. COVID-19 is just a coronavirus, so it's not the zombie apocalypse. We've had a lot of coronaviruses. It's not the first. It won't be the
Yeah.
last. Uh, and
Right.
then
Right.
vaccines are safe.
Mm-hmm. Mainly that one. Vaccines are
Yeah.
safe.
Oh, I like this one. This one's a weird one. Well, not really weird, but it's pretty interesting. So this one was posted actually 7 days ago
Mm-hmm.
by Rally Shev. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
if a
Uh-huh.
zombie apocalypse actually happened, wouldn't the animals just kill off all the zombies? As the only weapon people have is their brain. And I think when they say only weapon, they mean like the only natural weapon. And then they do go on to explain once you make humans mindless, they have no way to defend themselves from lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the problem is though is like typically speaking, right? Like with the zombies, it's always like rotting flesh, and typically like except for like scavenging animals, they don't really like rotting flesh,
I
right?
mean,
So
I mean, some vultures would fucking tear that shit up. They actually have to wait till
yeah,
flesh is rotten before they can eat it, because there's something wrong
yeah.
with the something about the way they digest the meat. They can't eat fresh meat.
Hmm. But like I don't think. I mean, like I guess if the thing wandered in, but that's the thing too, right? Like if we're going with the traditional zombie lore, it's always you have to destroy the brain, and animals aren't necessarily intelligent enough to know, like, to try to kill this thing by destroying its
Mm-hmm.
face.
Yeah.
I- In fact, a lot of animals typically kill their prey by something along the lines of, like, you know, cutting like a jugular or something like the big cats and stuff always go for like the neck or the break the spine, stuff like that. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know that they'd be able to really fend off a zombie who doesn't feel pain, and they always seem to have like super strength too, don't they?
Yeah. I think it's just more like the stuff that
They
would
don't have any.
yeah the stuff that would make you stop doesn't exist for them.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I kind of agree to some extent. I think that is something that is sorely kind of missing from the zombie stuff, and if you're going with like the Walking Dead and stuff like that, it kind of does imply to some extent that the virus or the contagion uh, makes the flesh undesirable to everything,
Yeah.
and like animals just avoid them.
Hmm.
So if we're not going with that assumption, if we're going with something like it's so natural that animals like are suddenly super chill and not scared of um,
Hmm.
people, then I would say you would see, especially like vultures and
Yeah.
like dogs and other sorts of like scavenging creatures would be all over them. Like mice and rats would tear them apart. Like, I mean, rats eat people. And if you can't feel, so like one of the things that like, ooh, here's a perfect example. So leprosy, one of the things that like people think that limbs fall off when you have leprosy, but they don't actually. What it is you can't feel anything because your flesh is rotting, and mice come in and they eat it. Mice and rats.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
So, and because you can't feel anything, you don't wake up while they're like eating you in your sleep.
Yeah.
At least that's what I heard in a thing. I don't know how true it is. I should preface with this is a thing I heard in a thing. I think I heard it on a podcast. I don't know. I hear most stuff on podcasts. But anyway, so yeah, I would say they would get like completely ravaged. But of course, that's one of those things where it's a time thing. So in most depictions of the zombie apocalypse, the real issue isn't the zombies, it's just how quickly they spread, kind of deal.
Oh,
and so they'd still spread just as fast. It's not like suddenly all the rats will crawl from the sewers and start devouring all the zombies specifically.
Yeah.
And so I think it might just mean that the zombie apocalypse does have like a kind of a deadline almost.
I guess it would depend on what effect the rotting zombie flesh would have on the animals too.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just saying if we assume that it's a completely natural thing that animals wouldn't be sickened by, or there's also there's the zombie things that even animals can get it. And so if animals can get it too, then, well, everyone's fucked.
Yeah, right.
And then the last question, because I think this will help lead into our next segment, which is Buying the Apocalypse, is what would be your number one weapon in a zombie apocalypse?
Ooh. So like, that's such a hard question, right? Because, like, part of you wants to say like a gun, but guns have a finite use on them, right? Like, not even counting bullets, but just like the maintenance on a gun. There's a lot like to clean and keep it oiled and everything to keep it like working in good condition. Like, there's kind of a lot to it, and so there's definitely a finite supply of that. So then your next step would be like, well, a bladed weapon, right? But even with like a bladed weapon, I mean, that gets dull, it gets heavy with each use too, like as you're getting, the gore on it and stuff. So, like, that's kind of tough. And, like, it's hard to cut through bone. Like, I love how the movies always make it look, like, so easy, right? Yeah. Like, in the TV shows and stuff, it's always like, man, this guy's just, like, a real samurai cutting through these bodies like they're bamboo poles. And it's like, it's so hard for an untrained person to handle a blade like that. So really, I think probably your best weapon would be something like maybe like a spear or something with like a tip that you could replace easily, even with like stone. Just because you could pierce like the eye socket if you were good at aiming, I guess, and didn't have to fight too many off. Because let's face it, no matter what weapon you're using, if you get surrounded, that's pretty much the end.
I think I gotta go with the trusty baseball bat, man, or crowbar.
Oh, baseball bat, yeah.
I like the crowbar because it's not only a weapon, but it's a tool as well. So it's like multi-purpose.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
And I don't care how many humans you bludgeon to death with a crowbar, it's not going to break. You're not going to break it bludgeoning human skulls. Period.
No, probably not. The only thing, though, it would get heavy.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, your crowbar is not going to be I'm killing zombies all day weapon. But but like, that's why I kind of led with the bat and then went to the crowbar,
Yeah,
If I got the weight distribution and the ability, I'm going to be carrying both.
Yeah, yeah. Some of those aluminum bats really aren't all that heavy, and like, yeah, sure, you're carrying it around for a while, so it would start to get a little bit heavy. But like, you practice and do it long enough, you won't notice the weight of the
I
baseball
would
bat.
worry that a modern aluminum bat would not handle a human skull very well.
Oh, so what kind of bat would you want?
I was thinking like a nice oak bat, like a really nice dense wood bat.
Yeah, I mean those bats break though
Yeah, I know.
pretty often.
That's what I mean. I don't know. I've never seen an aluminum bat break except in movies, so I don't know if they actually would. I mean, they're hitting like
Oh yeah,
110-mile-per-hour baseballs, but
right.
they're
And
also
chances are
that's
not.
what they're built to hit at the same time.
Yeah,
too.
right. True.
I don't know. Might have to still go with the crowbar. Just have like one of those. Have you ever seen like the half crowbars?
Oh yeah.
And those are a lot lighter, and they have a handle too.
Yeah,
So might just have
that might be the way to
Yeah.
go.
go like have 2 or 3 of those half crowbars, because the only thing I worry about is using the spiky side as it getting stuck. So maybe you
Oh
just have
yeah.
2 or 3 of those that you can like switch them out,
Mm-hmm,
like a crowbar
Yeah.
samurai.
Right.
All right. Well, that was our letters from the bulletin board. I look forward to whatever we end up finding next week.
Yeah, me too.
But let's head on over to Buying the Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
All right, Benjamin. I told you to
Yeah.
find some gear or any other thing that you would recommend people buying in
Yeah.
order to enjoy the apocalypse / survive the apocalypse, or is just themed around the apocalypse. What'd you bring me?
So this is a little. I'm gonna say it's not unconventional in the forms of like most people probably do have this item, but they don't. But like you never see people like put any thought into it when it comes to this kind of stuff, and that's a good pair of like boots or shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Because chances are you're going to want to be not necessarily in a city, right? Because cities have lots of people, which means it has lots of zombies, probably. Especially if we're going just based off of, any movie and TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to definitely want, like, kind of like a hiking boot, probably something that's waterproof, and probably something good for winter, depending on, like, your climate.
Yeah.
So there's a personal brand that I particularly like of hiking shoe, and that is the Merrell brand.
Ooh.
Merrell. Did I spell that right? Merrell. Yeah. And every time, so I always buy these shoes just for like hiking because I like to hike a lot. Well, when it's not winter and
Yeah. I don't know. I like hiking in the winter. I used to do it all the time when I worked at Target.
Winter hiking is nice. It just depends on like if it's really windy, it can be a little bit miserable, and like
Oh yeah.
if it's more rain and sleet than snow, it can be pretty miserable. But it does look pretty with like, especially like around this area in West Virginia, where just like we've got all those nice rolling hills, and like it does look really nice in the snow too.
It does. It does.
But with this particular brand of shoes, like the first pair I bought lasted like a solid like 6 years, I think, and like when I put them on, it felt like I had been wearing them already for like 2 years.
Nice.
Like they were so comfortable. Like I wore those things into the ground. Like the sole was like literally peeling off. And I was like, well, I guess I have to get another pair now because this is like falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really want your soles coming off when you're trying to run from zombies.
Exactly. Now, the unfortunate thing with these types of shoes is like they do run a little bit expensive. You do typically see them in the like anywhere between the $120 to $200 range. But like anyone who has ever had like wet feet and been like not somewhere where they could get socks or get dry knows how miserable that is.
Well, honestly, like 120 for a pair of shoes isn't bad, especially for hiking boots.
Right, right.
Now, are these the ones in this price range that you're talking about? Are they like above ankle? Or are they below ankle?
So that's actually like it depends on your
Yeah.
style. So like they do have above and below ankle that both fall into that range. They have even some that look almost more like sneakers
Yeah.
too. You know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
so that would be definitely one thing that you would want to kind of take into account your terrain around you, because like if you have very mountainous area around you, then like you're not going to want like a flat or like a tennis shoe or something. You're going to want an actual probably boot.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so if we're talking apocalypse survival, you'll want the boot, period.
Yeah,
If we're
right.
just talking about you live in Ohio and you want to go for a hike, yeah, probably you're fine with the below the
Yeah.
ankle.
And like most of their boots look like they're those ones that are like ankle high.
Mhm.
So like that gives you some decent like ankle coverage, and it gives you some decent mobility. They do have like ones that look like they're a little bit
Mhm.
taller than your ankle, but I personally like the ones that are at least just ankle high, because I feel like that usually gives you enough to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fine.
You want them. I like them. I like them to end like I don't know what. I think it's just called like a normal hiker. It's like just called the hiker or whatever. Where it's
Yeah.
just like 2-3 inches above your ankle. Not a lot
Yeah,
above
yeah.
it, but just enough to support you.
Right.
So Benjamin, I picked out a product as well, and it's
Ooh.
very interesting that you picked out a product that gives you longevity and usefulness, because I chose a product that's given me longevity and usefulness. It is my Leatherman Super Tool.
Ooh.
So I have had my Super Tool since I want to say 13 years old, probably.
I believe that. Leathermen are so good.
And this is the 200 is what I have, but I'm on the website right now looking at the Super Tool 300, which is
Ooh.
a slightly better version of mine. It has a couple enhanced features, like, for example, the ruler on mine is only on the front and not on the side, so when you're actually like measuring something, it's kind of hard to see where you're measuring because of where the ruler placement is.
Oh yeah.
So they fixed that. Now, of course, I don't know if you're having to use your Leatherman for measuring, you're probably in a bad place anyway. But maybe you're having a dick measuring contest and you want to see, because this thing goes up to 9 inches.
Yeah.
That covers most people anywhere between 0 and 9 inches. I think that covers the vast majority of men. And if you're above 9 inches, you probably already won the dick measuring contest, unless it's some sort of porn star convention.
True. That's true.
So, it's got 1 to 9 inches. It has centimeters as well. We're talking, this thing's got fucking pliers. It's got wire cutters. It's got wire crimpers. It's got a straight blade. It's got a file. It's got flatheads. It's got bottle opener. It's got can opener. It's got a Phillips head. It's got the thing for like putting holes in leather. It's got a saw, and it's got a serrated blade. And
wow.
So it's pretty much got like almost everything you would need. And this sucker only runs you $90 for that many tools. And I'm telling you, like I said, I've had it since I was like 13. It still works like new. I need to get my serrated blade sharpened again, because I don't serrated blades. You can't really just like sharpen yourself.
Yeah.
I probably have them sharpen my other blade too while they're at it, because I'm lazy. But yeah, it's a great tool. It's got good durability, good longevity, and $90. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. And then it comes in black too, which I'm kind of jealous. I'm looking at that black.
Oh wow, yeah.
Ooh, that's sexy.
And like you said, you said you've had it since you were
Mm-hmm.
13, so that's a thing that's gonna last you a long
Yeah,
time.
20 years so far, and it's still in
Yeah.
like new condition. No
All right.
dents, no
You can't beat.
bends.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Nope, no siree. And that's why we put it in Buying the Apocalypse. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
That was beautiful.
All right. I guess we're gonna head over into the apocalypse now.
Into the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow. All right, it's 1968. You're going to the drive-in. What's on? Oh my God, it's a horror movie. It's Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh, I might be too scared for this.
Well, were you?
Nah, probably not.
I know. So, Benjamin, when was the first time you remember seeing this?
I think it was high school, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's probably about when I saw it too.
So definitely been a minute or two since I had seen it.
Oh yeah, was it your first time or your last time?
No. I think I had watched it again in college. Yeah. But yeah, I think the first time I had actually seen it too was actually not this one. It was the remake one.
Yeah.
That was
the color version. So,
yeah.
So I watched the color version at the Warner Theater downtown Morgantown.
Oh, that's so cool.
At the end of the first annual zombie walk. I think it was the first one.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, the zombie walks were really fun. I don't know if they even still do it. I'm probably not. I feel like they died off with the popularity of The Walking Dead declining.
Right, and I don't think I've seen even because I used to see that kind of stuff pop up on my news feeds or whatever on Facebook or whatever other social media, and I feel like I haven't even seen anything like that.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, I was even in the group, and so it's probably died. I don't think it exists anymore. I know they still do the convention, which I wanted to go to, in the Monroeville Mall. But that's cool. A convention. But I think they probably still have a zombie walk at the convention, maybe, or maybe those became illegal because it was freaking people out.
Fair, maybe.
I don't know, but yeah, I've seen Night of the Living Dead quite a few times. Partly because it's free, and so I can watch it whenever I want, pretty much wherever I want. Because it's on freaking YouTube, it's on Amazon, it's on HBO. I'm sure it's on a couple other places.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
Yeah, it's just that, it's like I said, it's that thing where if you can show it for free, why not show it?
Yeah.
And so everybody just shows it.
Right.
I watched it specifically on Amazon because I figured it would be the highest quality, because I've tried to watch it on YouTube before, and some of the uploads on YouTube are hard to watch. They're so low resolution and everything. Actually, I can't remember when it was. I think I talked to you about it. It was. I think I might even mention it in the podcast. It was a couple months ago, but I listened to Night of the Living Dead, just like the audio ripped from the movie.
Okay.
On somebody uploaded it as if it was a podcast, basically. And I listened to that, and that was very interesting because it was literally just the audio.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so it was like, ooh, can I remember what's going on in this scene? But the audio in Night of the Living Dead is probably one of its roughest things. Like the
Yeah.
audio is either not well synced or it's just not well dubbed, and so it's kind of, the audio is definitely the roughest part. The special effects themselves though are great.
Yeah, like surprisingly so, right?
They
Like,
hold up still. And they would hold up even better if they had good audio to go along with them.
yeah,
Because obviously, like a big part of a punch is the sound of the punch landing, or a big part of somebody like breaking down a door, for example, is the sound of the door breaking down, and the sound
yeah,
effects for all those things in this movie were a little bit lacking.
yes, they were.
But
maybe a lot lacking if we're being honest.
but here's one thing: for the time period, it's not that bad, especially considering the fact that it is almost a homemade movie.
Oh yeah,
it's better than that.
Yeah.
But it was very low budget, and
yeah, right.
and so they did about as good as they could for the budget they had, and
Yeah.
also for the time period. It's actually not that bad.
Yeah, agreed.
So here's my question for you, Benjamin. When you
Yes,
you rewatched this film for this week, what scene really, like, either, I don't know, felt the most nostalgic, or you were just like, man, that's the best scene in the movie?
So like as far as nostalgia goes, definitely just like the beginning, or like that long crawl towards the cemetery, and just like, and especially the scene where he's like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. Like he even does like the kind of like creepy voice and everything. It's like, and like even like that voice, and I don't know if it's him, this movie specifically, or if it's like from something that he was like parodying, but like it's so iconic, like that like inflection that he puts on it, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
even if you don't know what it's from, you've probably heard somebody do the whole like, he's coming to get you, like spooky voice kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. I do wonder, did that voice originate with him, or did it, because there's also there's another guy who does a voice like that.
It's the guy who does the Monster Mash. He does like that in his songs.
Yeah, there we go. And I wonder which one started it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget when the
Monster Mash is
Mash
probably
came
the
out.
80s, right?
No, I think the Monster Mash is older than that.
Let's see. But yeah, it's so iconic.
Yeah.
Let's see, Monster.
And then
Monster
of course,
Mash. The original Monster Mash is 1962.
Oh, so it could be that, because this movie came out
So he
'68,
might have been.
and the Monster Mash
Yeah,
was huge.
he
so.
might have been channeling the Monster Mash guy. There you go. See, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very interesting, like how when something is so iconic that it kind of ends up overshadowing things that ended up slightly less iconic. And I mean, not that Monster Mash is less iconic, but it's just that line ends up becoming its own identity, separate from maybe what inspired it.
Right. And who even knows if that's even the case?
Yeah.
But like the voice is very similar, regardless of.
Yeah, he did the mash. But yeah, I agree. That's pretty stinking iconic. It's really funny that you choose the very beginning of the movie, because for me, I just love the tragic and just dark ending of the film, where he's so excited, he's rescued, he's saved, he pops his head up, bam, dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Instantly, and it's just like, wow, that's crazy. And then they do that really like. So obviously, like, this is 1968. This is like race stuff is really a big deal right now, which this movie was pretty horrifying to a lot of white people, because it had like a strong black man that like literally backhands a white woman, putting her in her place, beats up this other white guy. So like, um,
Well, and like he like took the lead
Yeah.
too. Like he was the lead dude.
yeah, he was. He's the lead dude. He's top credit. Um,
Hmm.
and so it's really interesting for something like that to happen in that time period. But then like to show the way he shows the imagery at the end can only be compared to, like, I don't know if you've ever seen, but there are photographs of like lynch mobs and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and it for me it evoked that imagery. It was these white guys all standing celebratorily over a dead black man,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine he didn't. That wasn't on purpose. I know he's talked about how like his choice of casting and stuff was specifically like because he was dealing with that subject matter,
Yeah.
of race
Right. Right.
relations and everything. So I
Uh-huh.
can't imagine that didn't play into it somewhat, but that's what I see every time I see it, and I'm like, oh man, that's so like it's so powerful because they're not like trying to see if anyone's even alive.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah.
going through and killing people and celebrating it, and it's like pretty crazy to watch.
Yeah. It really is. It's pretty dark too.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's
it's
just
super
like,
dark because like the news is there celebrating them. They're doing a good job. They're cleaning up all the dead, and it's like,
Yeah.
but they're not really at the same time.
Right. Yeah. They're definitely not right because it's like, I mean, they're killing innocent people basically.
Yeah, at least one. We don't know for sure of any others. Um,
Oh well, true.
then let's see. There's that's my favorite scene. And yours was the beginning, so it's pretty funny that we did that. But when I think of Night of the Living Dead, I always think of the flesh devouring scene too.
Oh
I think
yeah.
that one's
Yeah.
super iconic, and the hoarding scene at the end, when he's getting trapped in the cellar, which is really
Yeah.
funny that he got trapped in the cellar. It's just like because the
Yeah,
whole
man.
movie he was trying to avoid going in the cellar.
Right.
But
Which honestly, basic survival situations 101. Don't lock yourself in a place with only one exit.
yeah, but it
Like,
saved
oh.
his life.
Well, did it?
Well, it saved it until he got killed by rednecks.
Yeah. By cops, right? That's what they were.
By a
weren't they?
posse. Some of them
Yeah.
were police, some of them weren't.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like the thing that was so iconic about that scene to me, and of course I did have the question of in the back of my head that Matt Stark posed of, is this movie the epitome, or is this what the zombie genre is to you? And that
Uh-huh.
scene of them, like, I'm like, every zombie movie ever has copied this scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no zombie movie that doesn't have, at some point or another, somebody escaping behind a door, and just the camera sitting there as the zombies just pile against that door.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They also do the very, well, I was almost said the very classic, but I guess it's the first one to really do it too. But the whole, like, someone's been scratched or bit and they're becoming
Mhm.
one, and the family is oblivious to it until they close the door and turn around and, uh-oh, their loved one is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just literally like every zombie movie since then has just tried to like mimic, copy that, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Well, every modern zombie movie, because of course, there for a while, they got really wild. Like, I don't have you watched the Return of the Living Dead stuff?
I have not.
Yeah, so that was actually the first episode that I did by myself of Apocalypse Monthly was Night of the Living Dead or Return of the Living Dead, and it was so that was actually my introduction to the zombie genre was Return of the Living Dead. That was being that I snuck into the back of my grandma's living room and watched when I was supposed to be in bed while the big kids were watching it. And it scared the fuck out of me and scarred me for life and made me a zombie addict.
Oh, wow.
But
that's so funny.
yeah, so that's what I'm like, you know, those got like real weird. They didn't really follow that formula, but then when you think about movies since then, they definitely try to follow that formula to some extent. And you can, I guess you can kind of like question, is it formula or is it homage, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a quintessential film to watch if you're going to claim you like the zombie genre.
Agreed.
And honestly, I think you should watch the Romero films in order, which is what we're doing for the podcast. So next month, we will be watching Dawn of the Dead.
Ooh, spooky.
That'll be our March film. So
Mm-hmm.
you guys can go and you can watch that. You got plenty of time. It's not going to be every week like the other stuff that you have less time to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go on and head to the brand new segment.
Fate of the Dead.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So, Benjamin.
Yes, sir.
This new segment is going to create a tear in the space-time continuum.
Ooh.
Because it will be showing a new and improved version of the rules for the life system, which is a system that I made for the not yet released Me, You, and Mothership Z, or You, Me, and Mothership Z, I mean, actual play. So you're going to get to see the new and improved rules before you get to see the original rules, but
that's okay.
But you know, I'm bad at editing, and I want the actual play to be like super super pristine, and this is not going to be pristine. This is going to be like off the cuff. Well, not entirely off the cuff, but you know what I mean. It's not going to have a bunch of post production.
Yeah. Right.
And then lastly, this new segment will last as long as your character survives.
Oh, okay. So it could be short.
So this could be the beginning, or this could be the beginning and the end. So.
Oh yeah.
So let's just go ahead and get into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your character before we get started?
Yeah.
Don't talk about what he's been doing in the apocalypse, because we're going to start before the apocalypse starts.
Okay.
But yeah, just tell us a little bit about your character as of like day one of the apocalypse, before he even knows it's happening.
Yeah. So I just came up with this. I think his name is Zach.
I like it.
And he's like your typical, works at like a retail store. I didn't really think about which one, but we'll just say like a big box store, basically. And he's kind of one of those guys who always likes to talk about with his friends, like, oh man, if the apocalypse would happen, I'd be so ready for it. Because I think we all know that person who thinks like the apocalypse would really just almost be like a saving grace for them. When in reality, it would probably be quite terrible for everybody just because of the sheer nature of apocalypses.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what in my mind, like what his thing is going. So he thinks he's super prepared for the apocalypse. I guess we'll see if he is or not, huh?
We sure will.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. And Zach, what's he kind of look like? Is he Is he fit? Is he,
Um,
or is he just like, average dude fit?
he's like average dude fit.
Mhm.
Like he's not a total slob, but he probably, if he goes to the gym, he might do it once or twice a week, and it's usually not a very long stay at the gym, if even at all. It's more just like he works at this big box store, so he does stuff that involves moving stuff around. So like he's not totally
Mhm.
weakling kind of deal, but yeah, he's got some decent endurance
Okay, cool.
from being on his feet all the time.
That'll do it. All right. So while you're driving, your radio suddenly goes to static, but is soon
Okay.
followed by the emergency broadcast klaxon. Mwah, mwah. Everyone knows the sound.
Yeah.
However, it is not coming through clearly, and you can't make out the message. Turning the tuning dial, you look down for just a second. Something comes through. Seek shelter. The dead. Attack. A horn jerks your attention away from the tuning dial, and you look up just in time to see a pickup truck hitting the passenger side of your car. You are knocked unconscious on impact.
Oof.
You awake in a bed with an intense headache, and you're incredibly hungry. It seems as though it was just a dream, but it was no dream, and the nightmare is just beginning.
Oof.
Your eyes are slowly adjusting, but before you can see, you hear a thumping and scratching against metal. You also hear the mechanical whirring of a small motor nearby. A few seconds later, the brightness subsides, and you can take in the room better. Your room is about 15 feet by 10 feet. Your bed is a plain twin size with the white sheets and the gray wool and a gray wool blanket. The frame is matte gray aluminum. To your left and against the wall behind you is a nightstand with a condensating glass of water with slightly melted ice cubes. There is a plate with a bowl of oatmeal and an egg still steaming. At the foot of the bed you see clothes that are not your own. The wall to your right is blank concrete, and this side is mostly filled with the bed, and a small trunk at the end of the bed. The wall to your left has a steel door without a doorknob or window. The scratching and thumping appear to be coming from behind it. There is a digital timer above the door. In red numbers, it is counting down 25:30, 25:29, 25:28. Spray painted in red across the wall next to the steel door reads, "Escape and survive." The paint appears to be dry, and there is no smell of wet paint in the room. The wall in front of you has a door with a knob and lock. There is a small reinforced glass window about 6 inches by 6 inches. On the wall behind you is a poster of a kitten hanging from a branch that says, "Hang in there." And about 10 feet above you is a tiled drop ceiling with one light fixture of 4 fluorescent tubes. The room is slightly warm, the air feels stagnant, and there is a slight odor of decay. And then the last thing, the whirring sound is heard again, and you can see in the top corner there is a security camera that is currently zooming in, and it's got a red flashing light. You are wearing what seems to be a hospital gown. What do you do?
Do I see anything that looks useful in the room?
So there's you're wearing a hospital gown, so there is clothes at the foot of the bed. There's also a trunk at the foot of the bed. And you're very hungry, and so there is food on your side table there.
Okay, well, I guess I would eat that food. Get dressed and then eat that food. I eat it first, then get dressed.
All right. So eating the food, your oatmeal is fairly bland. The egg is slightly salted, but not any pepper. And the water is just cold ice water. Do you eat quickly, watching the time go down, or do you kind of take your time?
I would say quickly, because you said I'm really hungry,
Yep.
right? So definitely quickly.
All right, so
Try-
you finish scarfing down the eggs and oatmeal with about 22 and a half minutes left on the timer.
Hmm. Okay, let's see. Well, I got dressed too.
Okay, so getting dressed. Um, The clothes. The clothes are folded at the foot of the bed. They include a flannel button-up shirt. Ugh, I can't read. A flannel button-up shirt, a white undershirt, a pair of cargo pants that unzip below the knee to turn into shorts, and a pair of thick hiking socks. Lastly, there is a rain jacket folded at the bottom of the pile with a paper note in the pocket that reads, "I am trying to be fair," or "I am trying to make this fair." It is written in red ink with an unsteady hand.
Huh. That's peculiar.
Okay. And the other, like I said, the other thing is there's the trunk at the foot of the bed.
Oh yeah. I want to open up the trunk and take a peek on what's in there.
All right. At the foot of the bed sits a green trunk with brass accents. The trunk is unlocked and can be easily opened. Inside are a pair of hiking boots in your size. There is also a mostly empty backpack. The backpack has a lighter and a small pot with a spork knife combo.
Ooh. Definitely gonna hold on to that.
Okay. Is there anything else in the room you want to check out? Do you need me to list the things in the room?
Yes. Yes,
All
please.
right. So there's the poster. There is the door that the thumping is coming from. There is the timer above the door. There is the door at the foot of the bed, which has a window and a latch, and there is the bed itself.
I believe I am gonna want to. So there's nothing else that looks useful, like any kind of weapon or anything.
Not an invisible placement.
Okay. Then I am going to, I think, head out the door that doesn't have the timer, or try to, the one with the latch.
All right, the door with the latch. All right, the window door. Approaching the window door, you see a message painted on the opposite wall, and you can see this through the window. It is in the same red spray paint as in the room, and reads, "Escape and survive." There is an arrow to the right and an X to the left of it. However, the door is locked. There is a bobby pin taped to the door itself, like right next to the lock. And you can see that the hinges of the door are inside and could be popped out if you have something hard and able to go into the bottom of the hinges.
Let's see. Is the bobby pin to try to pick the lock?
I mean, it's taped to the door. There's no note with it.
Okay. Is there anything in the room that looks like it could be hard enough that I could, and holdable enough to use? As for, like a club to try to knock the hinges out?
The bed is made from aluminum bars and stuff. Maybe you could get one of the bars loose or something if you mess with the bed. The table stand is made out of wood, and so none of the parts of that would be good. And then the trunk is it's like a really cheap, flimsy college trunk.
Yeah. And how much time is on that timer?
It's down to 20 minutes now.
Okay, I'm gonna try to pick the lock first.
Okay, so roll me your intelligence, which is D6 minus 1, and then then you'll be rolling D6 minus 1 on the GM die.
Okay. Let's see. Are they exploding dice?
No.
I forget. Then I got a 6 and a 3.
All right, so that's a partial success. You're not able to pick the lock, but you don't break the bobby pin. The bobby pin is still whole. You've lost another 2 minutes. You have 18 minutes left on the timer.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more time.
Okay.
I felt like I almost had it. Oh, 3 and a 1 that time though.
All right, that is a complete failure. The bobby pin breaks off inside of the lock.
Oh, yep. I'm gonna go and try to break the bed to you, or try to get one of the bars out to knock the hinges out.
All right, so how do you go about doing that? Are you going to try to like flip the bed upside down and kick at it, or?
I guess I would kind of like first. I would just kind of like give the bars a wiggle first and see like if any of them feel loose, and then if any of them do, then I guess it would be kind of like a just try to pull on it first, and if that doesn't work, kind of flipping it over and trying to pull it on it and just trying to break it free.
All right, so pulling on it doesn't wield much give. You do hear a clattering from inside of one of the legs of the bed.
Oh, I check what that clattering was.
All right, it is on the right front. So basically, like if you're the closest to the middle of the room leg of the bed, that's where the rattling was coming from. It doesn't appear to have any way to get into it from the top from like above. So you might have you can maybe look at the bottom of the foot.
Like I'll flip it over so I can try to get a look at it.
So flipping it over, there is an X on the bottom of that foot, and also you see a red line going down the base of the mattress. You also do notice that the bed's been reinforced. It almost has like a ladder-like structure attached to the bottom of it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So does it look like it comes apart and it forms a ladder, basically?
It basically is a ladder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you would like lay it on its legs, like on its front, kind of deal.
Yeah.
It would hold itself up, and you could climb it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any like rafters or windows that I can use this to get to?
No, but there is a drop ceiling above you, and it's just like that foam drop ceiling tile above.
Oh, okay. Then I will try to break away some of that foam drop ceiling to see if I can see anything up there.
All right. And are you not checking out the leg, or did you want to? Because that was what you were checking out first. I didn't want the descriptions to distract you from what you were doing first.
Sorry. Yes, I thought seeing that it is a ladder is what I was seeing.
Yeah. No. There was an X on the leg, and there's also a red line going down the middle of the mattress.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to see the leg.
Okay. So you can easily twist off the bottom of the leg, and inside of the bottom of the leg, you find some bandages, a bottle of acetaminophen, and there's also 10 looks like homemade meal bars, and like wax. They're like wrapped in like wax paper, kind of. But also there is a multi-purpose tool.
Okay. Is that everything that's in there?
That's everything inside of the leg of the bed. Yes.
Okay. Then I will take the knife of the multi tool and cut the red line on the mattress to see what's inside there.
All right. Hold on. You adding all this stuff into your backpack?
Yes.
All right, I'm writing it down for you.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
All right. Cutting open the mattress, you find a 20-foot section of climbing rope, an aluminum bat, a bottle of water, and a note that reads, "Very good. Here's a bonus. X marks the spot. 561278."
Interesting. I probably don't have anything to write that down with, though, do I?
Well, it's on a note, so you can just
okay, yeah.
you. And it's
definitely
it's written in that same red ink and unsteady hand. Everything else has been written in.
Oh, okay.
All right. And now you're trying to climb the bed?
Yeah, to see if there's anything in the drop ceiling.
Okay. So, when you use the bed as a ladder, you're able to reach the drop ceiling. Pushing up the tile, you see a fairly dark space, but there is a small light shining on a hook that is an additional 10 feet above the drop ceiling. The hook has a note taped to it. And beyond that, you can't really see anything else in the drop ceiling.
Oh, okay. Can I reach the note?
It's about 10 feet above the drop ceiling itself, so it would still be out of reach even standing on the drop ceiling.
Well, I doubt the drop ceiling will support my weight either.
Probably not.
Let's see what to do. How much time is on the timer now?
It is now down to 15 minutes.
Okay. Man. I assume the bed ladder is not something I could take with me either, right? Like, it's too big, probably, to try to carry.
Correct.
Okay.
You do have, do you remember all the stuff you found?
Most of it, yeah. Can I use the leg to knock out the hinges on that door?
No,
Like
it
a
would be
club?
too thick.
Okay.
But you do have the multi-tool.
Oh, yeah. Let me use the multi-tool then to, I guess it would be like unscrewing the door, huh?
No, you'd just be, trying to pop out the
Yeah.
I don't know what that pen's called, but the pen.
Yeah. I know what you're referring to.
All right. So you are able to pop out all the pens. This takes about 5 minutes. There's still 10 minutes left on the timer. And you get the door open, and you can go out into the hallway now.
Okay. Can I drag, before I go through, can I drag, the bed to kind of cover the door? So it's kind of like a barricade as I leave the room?
Definitely.
I will do that then.
Okay. So, out in the hall, like I said, there was the note painted on the wall that reads, "Escape and survive," and it's got arrow to your right and an X to your left.
I'm gonna follow the X because the note told me X marks the spot.
Okay, so going left down the hallway, you will continue down the section until you reach a right turn. At the right turn, you will see a tiled section of flooring ahead of you. Each tile has a number 1 through 10 on it, um, and the tiles basically go the width of the hall, 1 through 10,
Okay.
and then the next, and then right after that there's another section 1 through 10. Right after that there's another section 1 through 10, and it does that for about 20 feet. You also see that there are little pipes sticking out of the walls on the left and right side of the wall in this section of hallway, and there are like charred soot stains on the walls.
Ooh, okay.
At the end of this hall is a dead end, but there's a big X painted above a trunk, similar to the one that was in the room you were in.
Well, I guess I want to use those numbers on the note I received to like make my way through this area.
Okay. So yeah, you using those numbers, you're fairly easily able to make the trip, but I do need you to make a force check to make sure that you basically you don't miss any of the steps, because some of them are you're stretching your feet pretty far. This will be 0 GM die, so no minuses or pluses on the GM die.
Okay. And it's still the 2d6,
Yep.
right? Okay. That is a 2 and a 4.
All right, so a partial success. You are able to make it across the section up until like the last step, and then you do just barely, one of your toes nicks the wrong tile, and you get a little bit of flame on you. You're fairly easily able to brush it out, but go ahead and take 1 wound.
Oof, got it. I'm down the 4, right?
All right, now here is the now you can go to the trunk, no problem. Inside of the trunk, you will find a switch, and flicking that switch turns off the flames that you just stepped on. And then also inside of the trunk are 10 more of those meal bars, and 2 more bottles of water. There is a handgun and 2 fully loaded magazines.
Oh, wow, okay.
And a key.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all that's in the chest.
Ooh, what does the key look like? Like, does it look like it's to like a door, or does it look like it's to like a safe? Or you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
It's like one of those circle keys. You know what I'm talking about? Usually used in like security type stuff. Yeah, it's like one of those like like 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch circular keys with the notch in it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I'll take all of it.
And yeah, you can walk back, no problem. The trap's been turned off by the switch. And you I guess you probably go straight back to the arrow hall now, because there's literally like it's just straight flat concrete walls through here.
Then yeah.
So going back to the arrow, you will go down this section for about 10 feet, and then there's a left turn. As soon as you turn left, you find an obstacle course hanging in the air above a dugout section of the concrete floor. The jagged edges of the concrete reveal many hands reaching up towards you. There are about 10 ghoulish, corpse-looking creatures reaching up at you from the hull, moaning incessantly. The total length of the dugout area is about 5 feet deep, so they're able to get like elbows height out of the hole, but they don't have like either the strength or the intelligence to pull themselves up.
Okay.
The total length is about 100 feet long, and the total width is about 10 feet wide. The hole ends at the walls, which have no sort of ledge or grip on them. There is an X painted to the right of the obstacle course, and below the X is a keyhole.
Ooh, okay.
Do you want to try the key out?
Yes, I do.
Right, so turning the key, there is a clicking sound, and then once the lock is turned, there is these 2 foot by 1 foot beams that slide out of the wall, right at the height of the floor. So still at that height that the zombies can reach at. They're far enough apart that would make your steps difficult, but it does go all the way across the pit. Alternatively, you have the obstacle course itself, which is made up of a section of hanging chains that you would have to swing across onto these small circular platforms that you will then have to jump from one to the other. And then lastly, there is a bicycle pedal apparatus that it looks like you would crank across to the safety of the far floor.
And that's all part of the obstacle course?
Yes, so you have the choice of using the 2 foot by 1 foot beams or attempting the obstacle course to get across this pit. And then
I think the beams is what I would go with.
And then, of course, if you do fall in the pit, you see at the far end of the pit there is a ladder out.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, there's about 2 of these corpse-like creatures in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you want to take the beams, you said?
Taking the beams,
all right.
Yes.
The boy's going for the beams. All right, if you're going to do the beams, then I'm going to need you to do an endurance check, which is good for you, at a +1. However, like I said, the zombies are able to reach. So your GM die is going to be at a -2. Because there are hands reaching for you as you jump on these beams.
Right. Okay. Let's see
you
what
do
we
have
got.
the option of using your flux token. I don't want you to forget you have that.
Do I have to use that? I forget. Do I use that before I roll, or can I roll and then decide to roll again?
So, it works in a couple different ways. You can either use it before you roll to get a D8 on one of your dice.
Okay.
Or you can use it after you roll to take a full failure and turn it into a partial success.
Ooh. Okay. So I can take a full failure and make it a partial success.
Yeah, but if you have a partial success already, you can't affect it. Or if you have an extreme failure, you also can't affect it.
Oh, so like extreme failure is snake eyes, right? Or it's like, okay. Let me. I'm gonna hold on to it then and see how this rolls.
Right.
I got a 5 on the GM dice and a 2 on the regular dice.
Okay, so that is a full failure.
Yes,
You
it
can
is.
upgrade that to a partial success with your flux token.
That is what I will do.
Okay.
I can't believe my dice let me
I
down.
know, that's rude, right? All right, so
Yeah.
you've made it about halfway across when one of the hands just gets a hold on one of your shoelaces, like a finger gets hooked in the eye, and and you trip and you fall straight down into the pit. Like I said, it's only about 5 feet down, so you're not really harmed by this, but you are laying prone on the ground, and the corpses are now shambling towards you.
Ooh, don't care for that.
You can either make a force or an endurance check. Force check would basically be to knock them back and give yourself time to escape. An endurance check would be to just pull away, as to recover quickly, basically.
I believe I'll go with an endurance check.
All
then.
right. So the endurance will be at -1 in this situation because only one of them was actually in arm's reach of you, since you had made it halfway across.
All right, let's see what that looks like. Oh my god, dude! I am not having any good luck with my dice. I have to switch out. 1 and a 3.
1 and a 3. So you got a 2 and a 2 basically. That is a full failure. That means that you are currently wrapped up by one of the zombies. He is trying to bite you for some reason. One of the corpses, I mean. Sorry, you don't know what they are.
Right.
He's trying to bite you for some reason. And he's completely wrapped you up. The others are now getting closer. This will take a force check at a -2 on the GM die.
Oh,
actually, you know what? I'm gonna make this interesting, and I'm gonna give you a flux token.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna give you a -3 on the GM die, which means the only way to get a full success is if you immediately use that flux die to upgrade your GM die to D8.
Yep, that is what is happening. Okay.
So at a -3, you need a 7 or better on the D8.
On the D8, okay. Welp. That. Oh, is that a 7 or a 1? I believe that's a 1 on the GM die, but it sticks on my die.
All right, that's a partial success. You get back up on your feet, but you take another 2 wounds now, so you're at 3 wounds.
Ooh, we're looking bad.
You take 2 wounds as it basically like wrenches your shoulder in a really bad way, but it's not able to get its teeth into you.
Okay.
And now you are able to make a run for the ladder. However, like I said, the others had drawn close, and so I hate to do this to you.
Well, how many are between me and the ladder?
They're not really between you and the ladder, but they're basically like on top of you, kind of. It's this last step to get out of their reach moment.
Okay, because I do have a gun now, right?
You do have a gun.
I want to shoot these fools in the head.
Okay, so shooting would normally be intelligence. Do you want to use your luck instead?
Yes.
Okay. I will give you no minuses because the zombies have no defense against being shot.
Right. And I would imagine we are also fairly close, so...
Yeah. So, but you are rolling luck, so a full failure is an extreme failure.
Right. Oof, come on now. Oh, well, guess what? 1 and a 6, so...
It's partial success.
Yeah. That's my nickname tonight, apparently.
It's okay. It's better than full failure.
That's true.
So you manage to shoot one that falls into the others, but the gun does get knocked out of your hand when that happens. So you have the choice of going for the gun or getting away.
I hate to do it, but get away.
All right. Making it to the ladder is no problem. At this time, they're kind of entangled with each other, and you're able to climb and get out of the pit to safety. On the other side of the pit, you are. Here we go. You find a hall of doors.
Ooh, okay.
There are 7 doors in total, 3 on each side of the hall, and 1 at the end, which is marked with a glowing red exit sign. Above each door of the ones on the sides of the hall is a number painted in that red paint, 1 through 6.
Okay.
1 through 3 in ascending order on the left side, and 4 through 6 in descending order on the right side.
Okay.
So the 4 and the 3 are across from each other, and then the 6 and the 1 are across from each other. Then to the left of the one door is a message painted in red, and it says, 1 is for fun, 2 and you're done, 3 to be free, 4 for some more, 5 just for kicks, and 6 to exist. Choose a door and maybe more, but choose poorly and pay dearly. Escape and survive. So you can, I'll allow an intelligence roll to GM solve the puzzle, if you would like.
What does a critical failure look like?
I just don't give you any hints, and you have to figure it out yourself. A partial success, I'll give you a clue, and then a full success, I'll just tell you the answer.
I think I have an idea of which one I want to open anyway, but I might as well roll.
Zero on
the
GM die.
0 on the GM die.
Actually, wait. I'm going to give you a +1. I'm going to give you a +1 on the GM die.
Okay. And is it a -1 on my die?
Yeah, your intelligence is -1.
Right. Okay. Well, my intelligence is a 2, so -1, but the GM die was a 4.
All right. So with a partial success, the clue is pay attention to the message you've seen the whole time: escape and survive.
Escape. And can you remind me what the whole message on the left-hand side was?
Yep. So 1 is for fun, 2 and you're done, 3 to be free, 4 for some more, 5 just for kicks, and 6 to exist.
Oh. Escape and survive. I'm going to go with door 6.
All right. Door 6 is locked.
Does my key work on that one? Okay. Door 6 is locked. Okay, so it's not 6. 1, 2, 3. Man, I hate to ask you again. One more time.
1 is for fun, 2 and you're done, 3 to be free, and 4 for some more, 5 just for kicks, 6 to exist.
Okay. Oh man. 1 just for fun. Oh man. Riddles. Am I right?
I just love how nervous you are about it.
Well, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously you want and it's hard to. It's like I want to role play, but I want to play too.
Mhm.
So it's like, do I separate myself from the puzzle and choose what Zach would choose, or do I choose what Ben would
You
choose?
can go with Ben. That's fine.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I
Like,
know.
that's always like the difficult
I know.
thing, I think. And with Zach having low intelligence, 3 is what he would want to go for, I'm sure. Because three free.
Yep. All right. You're going to 3 then.
So you know what? We're going with 3. We're going with the character choice 3.
All right. So when you go to open door number 3, it opens into a small, well-lit room. There is a desk with a laptop and a computer chair. There are also 2 small fire safes with touchpad locks. One has a blue pill depicted on it, and the other has a red pill. The laptop screen has a messenger program up, and it says "Red is typing," followed by a chime, and "Hello" appears in the text box of the messaging program. Red is typing. A chime. "Come, sit down, let's talk." Other than the desk, there is a security camera and nothing else in the room.
Okay. Well, I sit down at the desk and type out "hello," and I look up at the security camera, and then at the computer.
It says "Red is typing." How did you like my escape room?
I type "it was challenging, but I've survived so far."
Yes, I'm very pleased you've made it this far.
Thanks.
I would like to ask you a question.
Okay. And then I put dot 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 question mark.
Do you want to be free or do you want answers?
Oh. I type out free. But I pause for a second. I start to type out answers, and then I erase it and put free.
Okay. Freedom it is. He types back, and then and then it's followed by a 3-digit code.
Okay. What's the code?
It's 367.
367. Okay. Do I see anywhere to input a
There's
code?
the touchpad fire safes next to the computer.
Oh,
That would be the only place you would really see to put in a code.
Then I turn and go to do
Okay. Do you try the red pill safe or the blue pill safe?
that. Oh. I guess, let's see. In the Matrix, red pill was the rabbit. The dream ends, right? Is the red pill? I think in the Matrix. Yeah, so red pill.
All right. The red pill
'Cause I think-
safe doesn't do it. The code doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I won't go into why I made that choice. Blue then.
So typing in the code on the blue pill safe, the lock beeps and it opens up, and there is a key sitting inside of the fire safe box.
Okay. I take the key.
All right. Leaving the room, you hear one last chime.
I go back and look at it.
Are you sure you don't want answers?
I type out yes.
All right. The computer goes black, and there's no other chimes from the computer.
All right. And then I head to door 6 again to try that key.
The key does not work in door 6. There is
Oh.
the exit at the end of the hall.
Oh. Yeah, then I head for the exit.
All right. The key works in the exit door, and you're able to open it up. When you step out, it takes your eyes a moment to adjust, but as they're adjusting, you hear the door slam behind you. But you see you're at the entrance to some sort of, like, maybe a old mine that's been converted to the facility you just exited. There's a slightly overgrown road, but you do see, like, some cars have been cleared from the road ahead of you.
Okay.
And the rest is overgrown forest as far as the eye can see.
Can I also take this moment to maybe use some of my acetaminophen and bandages to heal up some of those wounds?
Yeah. Go ahead and we'll put you down to 2 wounds for now. And maybe over time you can heal some more. And then you've escaped. Now it is time to survive. And that's the end of session 1 of Fate of the Dead.
Cool. I thought this was gonna be a real quick game there for a couple times.
Yeah, you almost got et.
I know.
Yeah, one more full failure and you would have gotten eaten.
Yeah, Zach is not quite as ready as he thought he would be for the apocalypse.
I mean, the monsters have never tried to eat him before, so
That's true.
But yeah, that was the first session. What'd you think?
I loved it, man. That was cool. It, like, I don't know about you, but like I was feeling tense for a lot of that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like, man, I don't like. Oh
man.
Sometimes you get like too much into your own head with like riddles too, and it's like, I'm sure there's like part of you that was just like in your own mind being like, the answer is so obvious, kind of deal, you know? like I feel like everyone who builds puzzles and tries their hands at DMing probably goes through that too. It's just like, oh god, the answer is so obvious. Did I make that too easy? And then like you see everyone struggling to solve it, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, no, I was pretty sure that the it would take you a minute to solve, at least a minute, like just thinking about the wordplay going into the final riddle with the doors. And especially then I'm sure you were pretty sure once I gave you the clue that escape and survive.
Yeah. There was also just like that like mental part of me that's like, oh, he says be free. That could mean free from this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like free from. So it's like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. I bet.
Yeah. No, I kind of wish you'd gone with the red pill though.
Oh yeah.
So I thought the red pill was the going down the rabbit hole, but was it? I thought he took the red pill. The blue pill was like you go to sleep and nothing happens. Maybe I remembered incorrectly.
Maybe it was. I mean, honestly, I don't remember the last time I watched the first Matrix. It's been a while.
But yeah, I kind of wish you went with the red pill. I had some really fun stuff written for that, but you're gonna have to be a little bit blind during the zombie apocalypse here.
Hey, that's all right though, because I wanted to also do what would be true for Zach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that I asked my friends on MeWe. I said, so do you guys, if you guys were put through like a deadly escape room, effectively, would you want to try to like get revenge, or would you just want to like get the fuck out of there? Yeah, I was kind of like, because that was like where I was at. I was like, should I just force him to go to that? And I was like, no, that's kind of rude.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, and I think like not being in that situation, it's easy to say like obviously revenge, but then it's like, you know, Zach was bloodied already pretty much, right? Like I only had 2 wounds left. Like at that point, I think he'd be so tired, so confused, and just ready to just like get out of this hellhole.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm really happy with either one, because now I get to like, because there's a whole lot of stuff that would have been revealed if you went to that room that now I get to reveal to you slowly instead of like all at once.
Nice. And I'll tell you what, that slow burn, ooh, it's good.
Ooh.
The slow burn is sometimes what makes horror, like mounting horror, in my opinion, is like like if I can see a horror movie and never see the monster, I think sometimes that works so much better than being like, oh, here's what it is the whole time.
Oh yeah, like A Quiet Place. How like
Yeah.
we didn't see it till the end of the movie.
Right, and even then, I kind of wish we had never seen it at all. Still, because
I don't know.
I mean, like
I like the payoff of seeing it and defeating it to some extent.
Yes, and like for the way that they went with the movie, it definitely worked, and like I didn't hate seeing it, you know, but like think about like Jeepers Creepers though. The movie's ruined when that pretty basically after you've seen what the creature is. I feel like.
Well, I thought that movie was
like,
ruined because it's made by a pedophile.
Well, there is that aspect of it too. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. Or like how creepy, I guess. Then let's go with like The Happening until you found out. Oh, it's the trees. The trees are those spooky monsters.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not good.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, here's the thing with the slow burn, it has to have a payoff, or it's not worth it.
Yes.
Well.
That is true. That is true.
You know, and the things I think you described were just instances of it not being worth it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. I'm trying to think of some other movies that were pretty good. Oh, like The Babadook, I guess that was a pretty decent one that you never really saw the monster, not like in its entirety really until. Did you see it at the end? Maybe
I don't know. We haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of the list, we need to let people know what's coming up next week. Wasn't it? What is it? Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind. Is that right?
Yes. Nausicaa and Valley of the Wind.
So we will be watching Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind.
Yes.
Next.
As far as streaming services go, I believe it's HBO Max.
Yes. So I have to get an HBO login. But yeah, Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind will be the next one we cover in our the good, the bad, and the campy. And then of course, like we said, the next movie we will be doing for the Apocalypse Monthly will be Dawn of the Dead, and we will be having session 2 of Fate of the Dead as well.
Yeah, we'll see how Zach is doing.
Yep, see how Zach does. It might not take place immediately after.
Sure,
but, we will see where I decide to set it. And just go ahead and email us at imaginaryramblings@gmail.com. Tweet at us at podcastir. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, both at Imaginary Ramblings. Rate and review us so more people can hear our voices in their ears. And lastly, we have some merch on TeePublic. If you go on there, we'd greatly appreciate any support you can throw our way. And with all of that said, all I have left to say is good luck, survivors. This is Matt signing out.
Good luck.
Are you signing out, Ben?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.